Welcome everyone to a special, kind of like a review podcast style for Transformers: The Last Night. It is now 1:30 in the morning. I have not long seen the movie, and I don't really quite get the negativity of the reviews coming for this movie. Anybody that knows me, I am a diehard Transformers fan going back to the 80s. I am a G1er. People know I'm a massive collector of Transformers, and of course you could say a bit of nerdiness with the tattoos as well. So when the first Transformers movie came out, I was obviously hyped, and I'm going back 10 years ago to the first Michael Bay movie. The 1986 movie, me and Martin, my co-host for Smacked Up Wrestling Live, we done a very special podcast to mark the 30th anniversary of the original Transformers movie. I'll leave the link in the description if you wish to hear that. That was something that I really wanted to do when I first started out on YouTube. I tried to do my own take on it, and I didn't feel I did it quite well. But I went back and done this podcast style with Martin, and it justified it. I really loved it. Absolutely fantastic. Great 2-hour podcast that even got a massive retweet and love from Vince DiCola, who composed the music for the original movie. That made my day. But let's talk about Transformers: The Last Night and where does it stand. This is going to be a spoiler-free review. I don't want to give much away than there is another one. The fact that they're making this is the last battle is bullshit, because they already penned in the other Transformer movies, and they've also got the Bumblebee side movie on as well. And in this movie they kind of gave some parts of that away, and I'm looking forward to it. But where does this movie stand? Okay, what I will say straight away is this is probably the best sequel movie in the sense of fan service to original Transformers fans. Now, the storyline can be a bit misplaced sometimes. There wasn't a lot of Transformers action, like Autobots versus Decepticons. In my opinion, there was very, very, very minimal. Similar to the likes of Revenge of the Fallen, where they really kept on the storyline for the human side. And it's hard to say, like, those parts I really enjoyed about it. Sir Anthony Hopkins stole the show. He was fantastic in this movie. The sides I don't like, and I just didn't really care about, was the whole King Arthur thing. I remember people made a whole thing about this. Why have King Arthur in Transformers? And they explained it quite well. Some parts, the writing was stupid. If you're going to see it, you'll get the part I mean. It's Michael Bay all over it, okay? But the scene at the start was actually really well done. Really well done. The World War II scene, everybody's seen, it kind of gave itself away for Bumblebee and my fan favourite, Hot Rod. But I'll get to Hot Rod as well, because I remember I had massive reservations going into this movie because I heard what they'd done to the character, and I am not kidding when I say I am a massive Hot Rod fan. So, storyline wise, as you've seen in the trailers, Optimus Prime's evil, Megatron's back, and it's the end of the world, basically. And they need to do these things that rotate from the King Arthur side of the Knights of the Round Table. Right, okay, we get that. Optimus Prime, in my opinion, is lucky if he has screen time for 20 minutes, which, in my opinion, is very, very bad. This is almost as bad as the Revenge of the Fallen bad. On the other hand, having Megatron finally here with Frank Welker as the voice, it is the best on-screen version of Megatron in the Bayverse movies. Best on-screen version. Really enjoyed having that Megatron character there, very evil looking. It looked completely correct for the character, but with the other Decepticons that were there for him, it felt a bit like Age of Extinction, where you just didn't care about the other Decepticons. Barricade had more screen time than any other ones, and to have him back, again, like Bumblebee's nemesis, was okay, but you were expecting more. You're expecting more. But this movie was more based on the human side and a lot of Bumblebee, and Bumblebee wasn't annoying in this movie compared to previous ones where I've sat and I've like, fuck, it's just more Bumblebee. Again, with the Autobots, you never really seen much of them either. The movie felt just like it is Transformers with Mark Wahlberg, Sir Anthony Hopkins and Bumblebee. That's what it felt like. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because the movie, it didn't drag. That's the thing I want to point out here. A lot of people are saying it's all over the place, the continuity was bad. They actually kept it well informed. There's certain things when they go to Cuba, like I said, I'm trying to keep this as spoiler free as possible, that you could easily cut off. You don't need that in the movie. You really didn't need that in the movie. But from going from America to the UK, and that is basically where we're having like the big massive battle, I was cool with that. It made sense. It stuck to what they were doing, and it was fine. The most they were trying to get into, like, the characters was basically Bumblebee. Bumblebee was basically the star of this show, and Hot Rod. And this is where you're starting to see the setup for the spin-off Bumblebee movie, and why it made sense. Hot Rod was the brother-in-arms. Now, like I said, I'm a massive Hot Rod fan. When I heard they'd done certain things to the character, especially the French voice, I was pissed. Should he have been a Lamborghini? No, because American Hot Rod car, you think of American muscle, but it's a Hot Rod. It's just, that's the style. I have got to admit, I loved the Hot Rod character. Absolutely loved him. He slotted right in and fits perfect. So I was cool with it. And if you're watching it, and when you see the World War II scene, you'll get it. And they even have a fan service to that as well. And that's one thing I want to say about this movie. They really went overboard with fan service. From Grimlock being the comic relief to the World War II scene, where there's a certain things you see for Bumblebee and Hot Rod. You see certain things, and the Megatron side as well, and the fact, of course, Optimus Prime / Nemesis Prime. Quintessa is obviously the fan service to the Quintessons, and I'm not going to spoil the bigger one. What should have came, I'd imagine, the third movie, but finally they're doing it, and that's how you know they will not give this away. Already I have read reports that it is the lowest opening Transformers one, but I genuinely think after the poor reception of the fourth one, they had to change things. So if Michael Bay is finally stepping back from this, Transformers in a sense is fine. It will still make its money overseas, but Michael Bay is finally going to take a step back. The human characters, apart from Mark Wahlberg and Sir Anthony Hopkins, the rest were forgettable. The young girl they promoted in this movie, who's going to be this big star in the movie, forgettable. You could easily left that out. There was just no point to her, apart from the fact that she had this mini robot. That was it. It was really forgettable. The female lead, It felt like an English Megan Fox, very forgettable, and that was it. Like I said, Anthony Hopkins stole the show, and Mark Wahlberg was fine, absolutely fine. One thing I will give the movie is there is hardly any product placement compared to 4 in the other movies, where it was like in your face product placement. It was disgusting. This movie, they've toned it down, they've listened to a lot of the complaints, but again, it still feels like, okay, you've listened to the complaints, but you've went back and done similar things. Now, when I mean like the Revenge Fallen style, where it's like there's not a lot of the on-screen battles until like near the end, you have that small burst in the middle, but near the end it's like fuck all out. It's really just like there's a very small bit, then it's all out at the end. So, action side, yeah, it was a good action movie, but would I have liked to seen more Autobots versus Decepticons? Yes, I would have loved to have seen that. Would I have loved to have seen more of Prime's character? Yes, I would love to have seen more of the Nemesis Prime. But in saying that, for what they did use for Nemesis Prime was good. I enjoyed it. And I just wish if they're going to stick to something, stick to it. They done certain things, so obviously you can tell there's a sequel coming, and they kept the pace of the robots fine, where they've set up this is the new team of Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Hot Rod, Hound, Drift, and oh fuck, I keep wanting to call him Springer, but it's Crosshairs. He just looks like Springer to me. But they've done well, like establishing that's them. The Decepticon side, they could have added more. They could have added more. Especially after the letdown of Galvatron and 4, they had to bring back his Megatron, and that's more for the casual viewer, because who would know who is Megatron? Galvatron, sorry. That's mostly the comics, season 3, the original movie, but for the younger public, it's always Optimus Prime Megatron, so it kind of made sense why they'd done it, and like I said, it is the best film adaptation of Megatron since 2007. Since they've started these movies, that is the best one. It's a pity it took so long to get there, and that's kind of like my problem with this movie. It feels like they've took all the things that were wrong for 4 and played it safe like they did with 1, and that's where it lies. They've played it safe, but the human characters again let it down. So it's a mixed bag how I feel about this. I don't think it's completely bad. That's one thing. I don't think it's completely bad that a lot of these people are saying. I'm trying to give it a very biased pro and con look at things. I could easily went and said, like I said when I left the movie theatre, I really did enjoy it. In my opinion, it's the best sequel in the Transformers franchise. It wouldn't be hard, because 2 and 4 were fucking awful. 3 was my favourite because it took elements of 2 Transformers episodes in season 1 and made it itself. But at the same time, I enjoyed the original trilogy with the style of Optimus Prime. I'm not a fan of the night side, but finally they explain why the fuck Optimus Prime's a knight in this movie. When like in the 4th movie, it's just he's been changed into this knight, and the Dinobots or knights of the past, they finally explain it, and they do a good job. But could they have kept it the way it was for like 1, 2 and 3? I think they could have. I really think they could have, but now they've established it's in the Knights, and that's the direction we're going, especially with some of the things we've seen at the end of the movie and explaining throughout the movie. The story does explain itself. I've got to give it credit. The story explains itself. The writing team done a good job. I cannot fault them on that. Like I said, there's certain things Michael Bay style has been put in, and you can tell straight away at the start when you see the opening battle scene. Like I said, I'm trying to keep as spoiler free as possible, but there's certain things that's like, Michael Bay cannot fucking leave it alone. But again, it is a well done movie in the sense of action was good, the transformations looked good, the Autobots looked amazing on IMAX 3D. That's what I went and seen it on. Was it the best 3D experience of the Transformers? No, I still think Dark of the Moon was the best I've seen in IMAX 3D. That just blew it out of the water. But where does it lie in the scale of, like, should you see it? And what do I rate it as? Like I said, I keep trying to state this, I'm trying to keep it as biased as possible. I'm unbiased as possible. Well, you know what I mean? It's 1:30 in the morning. I'm trying to make it fair as possible. Because I'm a massive Transformers fan. I love Transformers. And I had high hopes going into this movie. I'm thinking, you have got to fix what was wrong with Age of Extinction. If you do that, then you're safe. They fixed. They're safe. Like I said, there's certain aspects that could have easily cut out the movie when they go to Cuba and stuff. That could easily get cut out. The continuity, where a lot of people's complaining about, it was actually quite easy to follow. That I don't get. The story they were telling, they've took certain parts again of the comics and the original cartoon, and they've blended it in, and they've done really well. Like I said, there's a lot of fan service in this one for the Quintessa. It is a direct nod to Quintessons, and obviously whatever happens at the end, I will not tell you. If you're a massive Transformers fan and you want to know why, I suggest go and see it. Hot Rod, I loved. It will never be the same as like the 1986 movie for Hot Rod to me, but they done him well. Bumblebee was still Bumblebee. There was no changing character or anything like that. He was still the same. Cogman was really well done as well. I really enjoyed Cogman. Even fan service is saying he's a headmaster, but he's not got a transformation. So that's the only thing where I thought, right, okay, that could have been fixed. That is the only spoiler I'll give, is like, that should have been fixed straight away. Apart from that, it's okay. It's okay. Like I said, it is the best sequel. Just purely because of the fan service for me. But if you're going to go with storylines, Dark of the Moon was probably better. I know the Transformer movies seem to go down in scale since the first one. But I think if this is Michael Bay's last movie and they're going to bring in another director, especially for what is meant to be coming, Paramount will not stop these movies, because like opening weekend, it was opened on a Wednesday in America, it's opened in the UK on Thursday. Give it the weekend and it will make its money, especially overseas. It will make its money overseas. And you will see the 6. The 6 is happening, like they've already penned in 7 and 8. But they need a new director. Michael Bay can only do so far before it's like the same Michael Bay movie over and over again. And that's where the problem lies. If it's the last, just walk away now. Just walk away from it. You've done what you've had to do. You've established that Transformers are back in pop culture. Just walk away. That's it. See what the next guy brings. And that's all we can hope for. And maybe that'll fix a lot of things a lot of fans are complaining about. But would I go and see this movie? Yes. If you're a Transformers fan and you have actually enjoyed the Bayverse movies, go and watch it. It is worth seeing in IMAX. It is really worth it. Beautiful action scenes with the Transformers when they are there. Beautiful action scenes. The pacing, it didn't feel like 2 hours and 29 minutes. Let's put it that way. It didn't feel that way, and it was fine. It just kept plodding along. There wasn't like parts where it's like, right, okay, we've got to wait for this, we've got to wait for that. And a lot of people complained that was in the middle. The middle I actually enjoyed because it was explaining the story in great detail. And they done well. They done really well. But again, the movie is still plagued with some certain things Michael Bay likes to put in his movies. So, what rating would I give the Transformers, the Last Night movie? I'd give it a solid 7. A 7 out of 10. On fan service, the story I really enjoyed. The Michael Bay aspects is the failure side. That is where it loses the 3 points. If he would just stop the silly things he likes to do for comedy, then you could have kept this going, because I know people complained about the length of time Optimus Prime's not in. I enjoyed it, but they should have added in more. Like I said, take away certain scenes of the story, you could have fixed this. So, a 7 out of 10. I will have it in Blu-ray anyhow. I will have this in Blu-ray. I've got to have them all. It's one of these things. It still won't be 1986. That's one thing I think people have got to now get out of their head. It will never be a 1986 movie. But they're aiming in that direction. So we just have to wait and see. We have to wait and see. And they didn't butcher Hot Rod for me. That was the most important thing. If they butchered Hot Rod in this movie, then I probably won't be doing this. So please go and check it out. It is not as bad as what people are saying, or a lot of reviews are saying, because I don't get where they're saying these negative things are with the story, when the story was actually quite easy to follow. But I do agree with the Michael Bay side. So a 7 out of 10. Please check it out. If you want to listen to the 1986 30-year anniversary podcast with me and Martin, that is in the description link below. I hope this has been informative. Like and sub the Gaming Fault, and tune back in for anything we're doing, from gameplays and live streams to the wrestling. Thank you so much, and enjoy Transformers. Till all are one.